Hello?
Oh, there you are, Grim. How's it going, Grimothy?
Fine, yeah. I've not used StreamYards before, so I had to amend some settings.
Yeah, no worries.
But yes, I've been able to hear you, and I was just trying to sort out my settings so you could hear me too.
All right. Yeah, no, I can hear you loud and clear now. So what's going on? What's on your mind then?
Well, I mean, okay, so I worry about, and this is a topic that is brought up by several leftists and left-leaning like debaters, and it's something that I worry about because I do lean right, and I'm a follower of Andrew Wilson, and I
Okay.
agree with a lot of what he says, but I think he has a blind spot in terms of Christian nationalism, which for the most part I agree with. We do need to go more towards like a Christian kind of spirituality for our society. And I'm in the UK, and I know that the US stands a better chance of getting there than we do. The UK at the moment is fucked.
Yeah.
But I think if you start going too far down the Christian route where you end up alienating everyone else who doesn't adhere to your what's it called? Kind of like not emotional framework, but the come on, help me out here, dude.
Are you talking like the rhetoric or the
No, the framework, but it's not emotional framework from Christian nationalism. It's I can't think of the word.
Yeah, I want to help, but I don't know what you're getting at either. Sorry, brother.
Not emotional blackmail. Shut the fuck up. I'm not going down an emotional route, but the ethics,
Okay.
I guess is the best. So if you like, you could go down like a route where you end up alienating anyone who doesn't directly align with your ethics framework. And I don't think that's a good route to go down because we've gone down like the whole video games makes you violent and that whole bullshit of the the Christian kind of like far right. And we shouldn't, like, as we go further to the right, which I think we should do, I don't think we should slip into that authoritarianism of dictating how like adults then kind of like live their lives, as long as it's not affecting like other. I know there's like some sort of contradiction here, and people are probably going to say it out, but in chat. But like, I've come from a point where I was to the left, and then it's people like initially it was Milo Yiannopoulos, and then Sargon of Akkad, and a whole load of other people that eventually led me to Rob Knorr and Andrew Wilson. I see the necessity of Christian ethics in society, right? I know that that's needed, but if you start shaming people for not following like strictly the Christian ethics, you could lose like a huge kind of like section of people on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like listen, if the people that I'm losing are people that are pro letting, men walk around with their dog fetish and mask on, I don't mind losing those people. Those are people that aren't going to really be much to us anyway, that we don't really like. It's just like, what's the line here? Like, should I walk around naked if I wanted to? It's what if I want to do that?
That's a jump though. You see, that's a jump though.
It's kind of along the same lines though, because this
Yeah,
is
it may
again,
be along the same. It may be
they're
along
not
the same lines, but there's a jump between wearing a mask and walking around naked. You see that, right?
but it's along the same lines. Like people who walk around naked, a lot of them get off on doing that. And it's the same thing with like wearing this mask. It's like, again, this stuff used to be kept into the bedrooms. And now they're bringing the bedrooms out into the public like this. And it's not like that before. And it's like, well, where's the line though? Like, personally, I'm not afraid of alienating any certain people because before this used to be just normal, just common sense, where it's like, yeah, don't wear that shit on in public. But now it's like we're having a debate right now. It's like, oh, should a grown man wear that in public or not? And it's like, well, how did we get to this point? And we got to this point because we were sitting there thinking, like, well, we shouldn't stop people from living their lives and expressing themselves. That's how we got to this point. And we did away with shaming.
I understand. Yeah, I agree to some extent with that. But are we at the point where we can draw that line, like in the sand? Like, I know that's where you want to be, right? But are we at the point yet where drawing that line firmly in the sand will not negatively impact the direction you want to take the country?
I don't think, honestly, I think most people are not down with that stuff. I don't think they're down with people wearing, like, even people who aren't like Christian nationalists, if you will. I think they aren't down with people wearing stuff like that in public, you know? And
Okay.
so I don't think me saying we shouldn't be doing that, I think won't be alienating even people who aren't down with Christian
Can I
nationalists.
ask? Can I ask? Are you drawing parallels with people who would not be down with, say, Pride Month, where you've got people wearing kink gear, walking through the streets basically naked, aligned with people who don't have a problem with like a bunch of adults just wearing like a dog shaped mask? Like, are we there yet? That's my issue. Like, I understand where you want to go, and I don't disagree with you. Okay. I think
Mhm.
keeping kink out of public is the right way to go.
Okay.
But are we at the point where we can expect regular people to draw the parallels of people kind of like walking through Pride Month naked, showing their dick off to children, versus people just congregating publicly and wearing dog-shaped masks? Yes, I know you're there. I know other people in your chat are there, but we're talking about the populace, the general voting public. That's my point. Like, I didn't come, Kulvik. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't come to your chat to cause grief,
Mhm.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
I came to kind of like, as I said, I'm a follower of Rob Knorr. I'm a follower of Andrew Wilson. I
Mhm.
agree / disagree with some of the things that they say, depending on the extent to which they go to. So I know that the people in your chat would be okay with this line being drawn. But if we're wanting to get, right, like a consensus of people, voting people, is it right at this moment to draw this line, to conflate these two things, or will it work against you?
Yeah, I honestly, like I said, I think people, even if they're not down with Christian nationalism, I think they'll see like these masks and stuff, and I think they'll be fine if we said, yeah, that shouldn't be allowed. Um, I don't think we're at risk of losing a ton of people with drawing that line.
I don't think that the majority of people will see adults congregating in public wearing a dog mask to people at a pride parade wearing nothing but the leather fucking harness and nothing else, and exposing themselves to kids. I think there's a line to be drawn there, and I don't think we're at the point yet where we can conflate the two under kink in order to denigrate both. I think you're going to be hard pressed.
Yeah, I just disagree. I think if people know what those masks are and such, I think
But
they will
that's the
be
thing.
fine with it.
That's the thing. How many of the voting public know what those masks are?
Well, they could ask questions. They'll see that and be like, what
To
are those
who?
masks?
To who?
What do you mean to
CNN?
who? What do you mean
Yeah.
to who? To anybody?
Yeah,
They'll be like,
no,
I saw.
the general voting public.
Yeah, you don't think people will see someone? Okay, first of all, it's not normal to just wear a mask like that in general, you know.
Since
So
COVID.
well, I meant like that. I
No,
don't
I
mean
know.
face mask.
I'm just making a comparison that
But
things
I'm
that we
just
thought were normal are not normal anymore. So who are they going to interact with to ask
yeah,
that?
yeah. Again, so I'm not talking about face masks like COVID. I'm talking about like masks like that. Like if you just saw a bunch of people wearing those masks, they're gonna say because that's not something you see every day. So if you see that and then all of a sudden they ask, hey, what are those masks about? They're going to ask someone and someone's going to tell them eventually.
Okay, but what if they ask a leftist what those masks are about? What's the response they're going to get? You can laugh, but I mean, a lot of people get their news from CNN. It's not what you see the masks as being, but that's not the information that everyone's going to get.
So look, even if they ask their lefty friend is still going to be like, they're still going to explain it. But they're going to explain it in their lefty way, but
you think a
it's still
lefty
going to
is
get
going to be honest?
Well, they'll be,
No, I
they're
don't.
gonna, well, hold on. They're going to explain it in their own lefty way that normalizes it, but they're still going to get the point across that this is some kind of kink, you know, like they'll say,
I don't agree.
I
I
think
don't agree that a leftist would explain it in a way that shows it is some sort of kink.
Well, even if that's the case, even if it's the case that they're going to go to their lefty friend and their lefty friend's going to tell them, oh, actually, this is something
This is
that's
just
normal
normal.
that
This is
people wear all the
cosplay.
time, or it's cosplay or something like that.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't mean that we still shouldn't take a stance on it. I think that's even more reason why we should take a stance on it, even if it's not popular.
I agree it should be railed against, but are we at the point where we can cut off these people who would see these masks as simple cosplay from the voting base? Should we like cut them off through I don't know, some sort of I just think it's going too far too quick. Like the states that decided to like ban abortion just after Roe v. Wade was repealed. It's too soon. Like the mainstream kind of like rhetoric isn't there yet. I understand where you want to go, and I agree with you, but the mainstream isn't there yet.
That may be so, but we'll never get there if we don't start talking against it, though.
I agree with talking against it, but just like shaming like people who are just wearing dog masks because they think it's cool. I mean, how is that helping?
It's not. They're not wearing it because they think it's cool.
How
It's
do
not
you
like
know?
it's not a leather jacket, dude. It's not a leather jacket.
As
like,
I said,
leather
know
jacket
what's
makes me
in
feel
their
cool.
hearts. Like there are people who
Why
are
else
into
would
this...
someone wear that mask, dude? Why else would someone? I've never wanted to wear that mask.
Okay, so because you didn't, then no one else would ever want to. People don't feel disenfranchised from their humanity because they feel because they've been made to feel disenfranchised in their humanity. Nothing like that. There's no nothing. No response.
So okay, I thought I didn't know you were done. So have you ever worn a mask like that or wanted to?
Yes, I have before. Yeah.
And why? Why?
Because I wanted to disassociate from. I mean, how am I supposed to have this conversation when you're just laughing? Like I'm taking the points that you've been saying. Okay, let's just shame the person that we think is a lefty, rather than listening to like a human being who's moved to the right.
It's just that it was really predictable. Is why I'm laughing. It's like we kind of everyone. I'm looking at the chat.
I mean,
everyone kind of saw this coming. You know,
was my honesty predictable? Have I been disingenuous?
Well, no. You've been honest, and thank you for being honest. I'm just saying that we all saw it coming, is what I'm saying.
Okay, but considering that I've said to you that I'm a follower of Rob Knorr, that I'm a follower of Andrew Wilson. I mean, how is this helping me kind of like stick to that kind of like content? If I admit to you that something that I've done in the past that I'm not entirely happy with, but I get you on a fucking like chat and you just sit there laughing at me. I mean, how is that helping me? Like,
Look,
how is that
okay.
helping me? Like interact with your content or with the right-leaning content? Honestly, this is what I'm saying.
Okay, well, listen, look, okay, look, let's calm down, all right? I won't laugh, but like, um, I'm just saying that, like, okay, so you don't wear it no more, correct?
No, I don't. But my point is, how can you bring others to your side if all you're offering is ridicule?
I think the people, um, I think the people that are so listen, you listen to Andrew Rob Noor, right? So you acknowledge that you agree with a lot of what they have to say, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you agree with that, but you
Well,
also
I mean,
don't wear.
to an extent, as I said, there are certain aspects that I disagree with Andrew about. Less with Rob because he's more focused on politics rather than religion.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, dude, like we're all human beings and we've all done things that we aren't proud about and stuff, but it's not about like, oh, you did this before, so now you should, we're gonna just laugh and mock you and you should. It's hard to
But
explain,
that's
but it's like
what you've
it's like
done on this stream. You've
yeah, but
shown no. You've shown people wearing dog masks and just laughed at them.
okay,
So
but
how am
you
I to
don't.
take you seriously?
Yeah, okay. Well, listen, you said you don't wear it no more, correct? Now,
It's not the point.
why?
It's not the
No,
point
no,
for
no,
me.
no. Hold
It's
on,
other
but it does.
people.
It
It's
is the
other
point because
people
no, it is
coming
the point.
into the right. If
It
all
it
they're going
is
to be met with is ridicule.
no, but it is the point because if you don't wear it anymore, that means you must realize that maybe it was wrong or maybe you shouldn't do that, right? At the very least in public, correct?
Okay, but my response from you was to be laughed at, and I had to punch back at you in order to get you to realize that, oh, maybe yeah, I shouldn't laugh at this. And I can see you smirking slightly on stream anyway. But how are you going to bring people more to your side? Is my point. If that's all they're going to be faced with is ridicule, and I understand, right? I agree that kink in public is wrong, right? But
Okay.
how are you going to
Yes.
bring people to, like, how are you going to convince people to join your ideology, your side, to vote in your way if all they're going to be met with is ridicule, as I've seen tonight? And I've only kind of like not gotten it because I've pushed back.
Yeah, okay, but the thing is that like we don't like okay. Sorry, I'm just getting thrown out here. I'm throwing out. Let me get back on track here.
Yeah.
So, look, we don't want this type of behavior in public. It's not a healthy behavior. It's not something we should normalize. Kink in public, you even
I
agree
agree.
that we
Yes.
shouldn't. Yes, so you agree with that. Okay, so if there's someone that is listening to me and they get offended that I'm laughing at people who do this or I'm shaming people that do this and they're not going to listen to me because I'm doing it, that's not someone who's going to be on my side anyway.
Okay. Let's just say that you've got someone who's been in this environment who has been wearing a dog mask in public. Not so much. I mean, I know you see that as showing kink, but there's a difference between like wearing a dog mask, which you attribute kind of like meaning to, and those that others attribute meaning to. Because as I brought up the issue of cosplayers, they wear different things, they wear different masks, costumes, whatever. And I know there's a difference. That's why I'm not conflating it with like pride mask of like just having your dong out, waving around in public in front of kids or whatever like that, right? So someone who's been involved in this environment, who's starting to feel alienated by their side because they don't hold the same beliefs, but then they start looking at content on the right, and all they see is you showing pictures of people, what seem to be adults, in dog masks and howling in public and shaming them for it. How is that going to draw that crowd to your message?
They're not going to get drawn anyway is the thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Are
They're
they?
not going to get drowned. No, they're not going to get drawn into it. If what's more
No.
important to
If they're
them,
being,
hold on, let me finish.
yeah, yeah.
If what's more important to them is being able to show their kink in public, if that's what's most important,
No.
then the actual good values that we're trying to espouse, they're not going to come on board anyway, because all they want to do is pretty much coom.
That's not the attribute that I'm espousing that people are looking for. People are looking for places to feel like belonging and understanding and kind of like more aligned with what they're thinking. And if they're already being pushed out by the left, which a lot of them are, in terms of the what's it called? Like the cosplay and the fur. You can laugh at the furries all you want, but there is a strong contingency of furries on Twitter that are right leaning that have nowhere to go. How are you going to draw them to vote in your way if all we can see on YouTube is you posting pictures of just general adults like posing in like masks that you don't approve of and laughing at them? Like, how is that helping?
Do you
And I'm
think
not, before I finish, sorry, I will allow you to respond. I'm not asking you to accept them, right? But it's a case of like the culture war is a case of like winning in demographics. So
Okay.
how are you good? Like you can say that I know I've been droning on, and I will stop in a second, but you say that they won't be drawn to you anyway. But there are some like furries and other people that have been pushed out by the right, not the right, the left, and are looking for somewhere to go. And the main commentators are just shaming them for things that they're interested in, not kink wise, just general interests. I'm sorry, I will let you.
Okay, well, there's two things I want to say. One is that if there are people that are like, let's say, listening to Andrew Wilson or listening to Rob Noor or me or whomever on the right, um, I there's a lot of people that listen to these people that know they have done wrong or sin in the past or something, or degenerate behavior in the past, that are looking to these people because they realize that it was wrong to do, and that they want to be better people. Not perfect, because no one's perfect, but better people, definitely. And number two, do you think that we should just indulge all of our weird and sick thoughts that we have in our head? Do you think that we should have a safe space for all of it?
Do you want me to respond?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I just know I spoke for a while, so I didn't want to kind of like cut you off if you weren't done.
Mhm.
I'm not thin-skinned. I am looking at your chat. I think the fact that I've come on here and opened myself up to be ridiculed and debated kind of like proves that. I don't think that it's a case of needing to engage in whatever kind of what did you call it? Degenerate thought or behavior
Yeah.
that anyone wants to engage in.
Mhm.
I certainly wouldn't kind of argue on that case. I mean, furry behavior is not only degenerate. There is like an artistic level to it. Like people just want to draw kind of like animals in sometimes wholesome situations. From the accounts that I've looked at, the majority wholesome, and it is only the leftists that engage in the degenerate kind of like drawing of furries. But it's
So
like, go on, yeah.
I was just gonna say, so you're saying, you engage in the wholesome aspect. Okay, even if I grant you that,
No,
do
no,
you
I
think
don't engage. I've looked at.
okay, you look, there's a wholesome
There is a
section of the
wholesome
furries.
section of furries on Twitter that seem almost to be homeless because they're being rejected by the left because they don't espouse the values that the left kind of like hold, and they're being rejected by the right because they're just being ridiculed as like, haha, look at the furries, look at the animal fuckers and blah blah blah, and that's not what it is at all. So there's like a whole subsection of the population, and I know it's not a large one in terms of furries, but I'm just using this as an example that if you go about only shaming people that espouse views or like have interests that don't align with yours, all you're doing is kind of like turning them against you to either like the left or a third party.
Okay. Yeah. So again, like, do you think do you think those gentlemen meeting up in the park that I was talking about in their dog mess, do you think that was a wholesome scene right there? Do you think that was I was ridiculing a wholesome piece of content there, or no?
What was degenerate about it?
Those masks, is there okay, so those
No,
masks
no,
in
no, no,
specific.
no. Let's stick to the thing.
Well,
See,
in
the
order to
masks,
answer, I have to ask this.
the ma-
So, are those
okay.
masks are those masks are they used ever in a wholesome way?
Sometimes, yes.
Like how so?
Like if you just want to portray yourself as a dog,
But why would you want to do that?
you can. Well, because do you know how fucking hard it is to just like exist sometimes in society? The um the responsibilities, the pressures.
Yeah, so why don't you just go to the bar and just chill out with your friends
That's how
or have a
you would do it,
beer?
and I wouldn't criticize you for doing that. Other people do it in other ways, and if it's not kink related, and if it's not including minors, why should they be shamed for it?
So listen, I get you're saying like you want some kind of escape, but you can't you just do that in the privacy of your own home? Why bring that out in the public? You know, because that is kink,
Okay,
and you even said kink should not be in the
no,
public.
no, I don't agree that what we saw was kink. But do you understand?
Dude, that
No, no,
is
no. Can
how
I
is
can
that
I finish?
wholesome though? Okay, go ahead.
Yep. So if people want to bring like a complaint to the public eye, they would like what's it called? They would God, like words are fucking failing me. But they would have a public protest. If what you're protesting is that society is too much for you to handle with, that you have like not you have to, it's a choice, and I'm not going to kind of like you know cut that out from what they're deciding to do. But if it's like a large population of the society have decided that rather than dealing with the pressures, have decided to check out, put on a dog mask, and just pretend to be a dog. How is doing that in public not a public protest?
So okay, so wearing the dog mask is you're protesting the stresses of society then? Is that what that is?
It could be, yes. I mean, considering the amount of people that put on a dog mask or other kind of like mask in order to escape from the stresses of reality, I can see that a public showing of that could be a public protest. And I'm
It could.
not, before we go on, I'm not like excusing any like a display of like aberration of behavior as a protest, but because this one that you showed was specifically non-sexual, then yes, that could be argued that way.
Okay, so when you did it, it wasn't sexual then.
Well, no, when I did it, it was sexual. It was in the bedroom. I didn't do it out in public.
Okay, I mean that's good you didn't do it out in public, dude, but
Can
you're
you see
not
how you're
making the case.
conflating though? You're ignoring my point.
Well, because you're putting out these like situations where, oh, it could be a protest of the stresses of societies. It could be
Okay,
this, it could be that. But then
but
I
if
asked,
you
oh,
don't,
so was it sexual with you? And you're like, well, no, it was sexual with me. So it's
but
like
no, you
you're
can't.
kind of
You
proving my
can't.
point.
Can't add what I do to everybody else. Though, do you see that?
Okay, but if I already think everyone's doing it because it's a sexual kink, and then you put out these, well, it could be because of this, and I said, well, did you do it because it was because of that? And you're like, no, it's a sexual
Okay,
kink.
but
You're kind of proving my point.
well, no, I'm not because what you showed was not anything close to what I did. So how was
No,
that
well,
proving
yeah,
your point? It's completely
because you're trying
non-analogous.
to, because you're telling me that I'm assuming what's in their hearts by assuming it's a kink, right? Okay,
No,
But you're
I'm telling
also
you.
assuming what's in their hearts by saying it could be this or it could be that. But
No,
then
I'm
you just
telling.
also admitted when you did it, it was a kink.
When I did it, yes, but I know that the reasons for people doing pet play, and it's not always kink related. Sometimes it is escape from the pressures of just modern society, which is
Yeah,
why
but
I can understand why they may do it. And the fact that you don't understand that and you're not willing to kind of like see like a possibility where pet play is used in a non-kink situation as possibly a protest, um and just shaming them for it. I mean, I feel like we're going like 6 degrees from Sunday.
so then it brings me back to my question again. Should every weird thing that we have in our head, should that be indulged? Like, should we just
No,
be allowed to do it then?
no.
So then, so then, okay.
But
So
how does that relate to what you showed?
because, dude, it's a kink. The dog masks are a kink.
Dog masks can be used as a kink.
There usually are.
They usually. Can you give me statistics on how many people use dog masks as a kink as opposed to not used as a kink? If not, then you can't use that terminology. You can look at me that way all you want, but I mean, I'm right. Unless you can prove that the like majority like used as a kink rather than as a form of escapism, which considering you don't know much about that world, I don't know how you'd have like any knowledge on that. Just because it's how you like originally see them doesn't mean it's how they're normally used. And that's my point exactly, is you're too kind of like caught up in your blinkered view on how society should be, that you're not willing to kind of like, it's not even that you're not willing to see how it is, you're willing, like you see how it is, but you like disgrace it anyway because it's not how you want to be. And we're not at the point where we can like write off swathes of the population, like the voting population, yet to get to that point. And I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, but we're just not yet there yet.
Well, listen, we're never gonna get there if we don't start talking about it now. And listen, brother, it seems like maybe you got a lot going on, and maybe that's why you felt the need to engage in that and stuff, which I mean, at least you did it in the privacy of your own bedroom, but you have to be aware of that that's not something that's normal, and that's not something that we as a society should normalize or indulge.
I
Like
agree.
you could hold on, you could want to do it right in your bedroom or what have you. You could do that or want to do that, but you have to also be self-aware that this isn't something that's normal. And when people like me or Andrew or Rob or anyone speak out against it, you have to acknowledge that it's something internally within you that's going on. It's not us that
I
have the
agree.
issues.
I agree. My point isn't that you've got an issue. My point is that the left has taken the Overton window so far to the left that you're in risk of alienating great swaths of the voting population by taking it too far to the right. And I'm not saying that you need to agree with what's being done, but you need to do it in degrees. And if there are people that aren't like that are engaging in certain behavior that isn't harming kids, that is just an escapism from reality, because reality's been so shit recently because of leftist politics, right? That alienating those are not going to help you get where you want to be unless you move by slow degrees in that direction.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I understand where you're coming. Let me tell you, like, share something about me, right? Like, now
Mm-hmm.
I've always been like a heavier guy. Like, you know, I'd say for the most of my life, I've been a heavier guy. Like, I like to eat. I love food, right? Now, a lot of people on the right always make fun of like fat people or what have you, including myself. I also make fun of fat people. The thing is that while I acknowledge that I myself have a weight problem, I also acknowledge that we shouldn't normalize being overweight, you
I
know?
agree. Yeah,
And I don't think we should be pushing society to where everyone just is overweight and fat and slobs. I
that's
think
not what
we
I
should
said.
move. No, hold on. We should
Mm-hmm.
move society to a point where um, that's not normalized, regardless of not if I have that issue myself. I know I have that issue with myself, and I want to try to be better. I want to try to eat better and get into a healthier point with my own body. And um I think that's what people should do. What do you think about that?
Great example. Now, to achieve that, do we say everyone that's overweight is a fat lard ass? I'm counting myself as one of them because I am overweight and should lose weight and hit the gym? Or do we say, hey, maybe people should start working out and eating healthy to get in this direction so that we can move the Overton window and then kind of like move to a point where it's like, oh, yeah, you know, working out and being healthy is the standard.
I mean, it depends, man. I mean, like some shame's like
No, it
works
doesn't.
though. It shame works though. It does. Like you could be like,
Yeah.
listen here, let's do this, that, and try to be nice about it, but people aren't usually don't listen to that though.
It's not about nice and appeasing though. It's about moving them in a certain direction. And by shaming people, I don't think you're going to move them in your direction.
Okay,
Especially
well,
considering I've said that there are people that I interact with on Twitter who are kind of like furry kind of like artists who are like right leaning, who have been pushed out by the left. And where do they go? Well, they don't go to the right, do they? Considering your content is just going to shame them, so they're just going to, I guess, what, vote independent. Anyway, that's getting off topic, but like, I feel like I've gone on for a while. I've taken up a lot of your time. I feel like you've made some good points. I hope I've made some points that will make you kind of like consider certain standings that you have. Chat is set in its way, so I don't expect to kind of like change their minds. Can I just point out, I'm not talking about the kids. I don't think that kids should be exposed to kink. I don't think that they should be transed. I'm very much right-leaning on a majority of positions, but I think that Christian nationalism does kind of like, or has the ability to lean too far right, and therefore cut a lot of the voting people out. And that's
all right.
that. I think that's the last I'll say on it. Can I also say I appreciate you having me on? I know my original discourse in your chat was a little bit prickly. I mean, I was dealing with a lot of like back and forth from chatters and stuff, but I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate talking to you. Anything you'd like to say in response to all that?
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on and being honest. Listen, I also appreciate you listening to me and also Andrew Wilson and Rob Noir. I hope you continue. All I gotta say is I hope you continue listening to us, and I hope I hope you continue listening to us, and I hope that you get to a point where you kind of see the error of these things.
I see the error of the things, and I
Okay.
will continue listening to you. My issue
Okay.
mainly is how the content in the mainstream might alienate rather than attract those coming from the left to the right. That's my main problem. Like, because I mean, I came over what, like 10, like 5-10 years ago. It was at the point where what's his face? He was being banned from Portland.
Oh, I know you're not. I think I
The
know
gay,
who you're talking about.
the
The
gay
guy
guy
that
from
always.
Trump.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I forget his name right now, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Milo. Yeah.
Milo. Yeah.
I was listening to the Young Turks at the point they were talking about this guy being kind of like protested from Portland, but they wouldn't mention his name. They wouldn't mention why he was being protested. So I looked into YouTube myself and I found him. Listened to a lot of what he said. Ended up agreeing, but it was that ended up leading me to the right. And I worry now that anyone like in a similar situation, what are they going to find on the right? They're going to find people kind of like shaming like them for their kind of like their hobbies, their views, their kind of like interests. even if it might not be kink related. And I worry about that because it means that it's going to stagnate the growth of the right when we could gain more people from the left. And I know you don't agree with me. I'll let you talk. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think with some things you're correct on that about, but things with like kink and things of that nature, I'm
I
not gonna
said I don't
stop.
support. Yeah, I don't support kink in public.
Yeah, I know. I'm just letting you know that those are the
Yeah,
type of things I'm not gonna stop speaking out against that stuff because again, it's like you don't have to be like 20 years ago, you wouldn't have had to have been a Christian nationalist or anything to disagree with that stuff in public. Now we're at a point where it's like, oh, saying that is controversial. And you know, to me, it's just common sense stuff.
I mean, to disagree with that stuff in public back like 5-10 years ago was like unheard of. And if
Yeah.
I'd seen kind of like, I mean, I got into the right wing by watching a gay man talking about like the good things on the right. And I look at it now and it's just people shaming the other side or what's perceived as the other side because they don't understand it. And like, how are you going to win people over by that? And I know you don't agree with what they're saying or how they conduct themselves, but how are you going to convince them to change if the first content they see from you is just shaming them for what they currently like? That's all.
Okay. Again, I'm just gonna have to disagree on that, Grimothy, but I do
Okay.
appreciate you. I do appreciate you coming on, and I do appreciate your honesty. And again, I hope you keep listening, brother.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me on. I mean, I'm a relative like unknown to the chat, so it was like rolling the dice. What are we going to
Yeah.
get here? But no, I appreciate you having me on. Chat, I've not really been looking at, but I hope you kind of like take some stuff on board. I'm not asking you to kind of like diverge from what Cool Vic says or what you believe. Just maybe kind of like have a bit more thought about how to win over people from like leaving the other side. That's my main thing, is how to win over people that are being pushed out from the other side, that are leaving the other side, to convince them to kind of like follow your message. And as I said, Vic, I follow Rob Knorr, I follow Andrew Wilson. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just think it's a bit too heavy too soon. And I don't think you're going to win as many people kind of like transferring over. I like consolidating the right, great, fantastic. But gaining more people who are being pushed out from the left, I think is going to be a problem. And I hope it's something that's kind of like more kind of like focused on in future. Anyway, I'm sorry for yattering on, but I do appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no problem, brother. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Yes, you too, and rest of your stream. Big love to yourself, to your chat, to the right, to Rob Knorr and Andrew Wilson. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you you indulging me.
Yeah, no problem, man. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So wait, that's not I didn't mean to do that. Why is it not showing? There we go. Well, what did you guys think about that, huh? What did you guys think about that? So yeah, like I was saying, I'm not gonna stop shaming because it's obviously like kink stuff. And again, it's like if any of us tone down the rhetoric of this stuff, again, we've gotten to this point and so fast because we've been gentle on this stuff because we've been like, well, we don't want to offend these people. But like in another 10 years, like what's it going to be next? Is it just there's going to be certain parts of the country that are just going to be nudists, little nudist areas? Is just walking around in a leather BDSM outfit, just going to the store. Is that going to be normalized? I know they call it a slippery slope fallacy, but it's not just a fallacy, man. It's real. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy that video? I hope you did. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, or else you're gay. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I'm just trying to save you from sin. Also, make sure you catch the Cool Stream live Mondays through Fridays right here on my YouTube channel, and make sure you follow me at any of these links down below for everything Cool Vic.